The night I ignored my partner's phone was the last night my life still felt normal. I still remember the exact moment it happened. He was in the shower, and his phone suddenly lit up beside me on the bed. Another woman's name appeared on the screen, and my chest tightened instantly. For a few seconds, I just stared at it. My whole body was telling me to pick up the phone, unlock it, and finally stop lying to myself. But I couldn't do it, because deep down, I already knew something was wrong. And honestly, the truth terrified me more than the confusion ever did. So instead, I sat there pretending not to notice, while the shower kept running in the background, completely unaware that my entire relationship was already starting to collapse right in front of me. Looking back now, I would give anything to return to that moment. Not to save the relationship, to save myself before the damage became irreversible. Because if I had faced the truth that night, maybe I wouldn't have spent months destroying myself, trying to ignore what my heart already knew. But instead, I chose comfort over clarity. I chose silence over truth. And later, I paid for that decision in the most painful way possible. At first, she kept convincing herself she was overthinking. Nothing looked broken from the outside. He still kissed her goodbye before work, still held her hand in public, still told her he loved her before bed. But emotionally, something had already started disappearing. It happened slowly enough to make her doubt herself instead of him. He started smiling at his phone more often, then quickly locking it whenever she walked into the room. His replies became shorter, colder, delayed. Sometimes she would talk to him and realize halfway through that he hadn't heard a single word she said. His body was beside her, but his attention belonged somewhere else. And somehow, that hurt more than anger would have. One night, she reached for his hand in bed, and he moved away without even realizing it. That moment stayed in her head for days, because that's when she realized something terrifying. She wasn't fighting for attention anymore. She was competing with a version of him that no longer emotionally belonged to her. And after that, everything started hurting more. The late-night smiles at his screen, the sudden need for privacy, the way he turned his phone face down beside her, the way conversations slowly died, while his attention stayed trapped inside that device. One night, she woke up around 2 a.m. and saw him texting someone with a smile on his face, a smile she hadn't seen directed at her in months. She lay there silently pretending to still be asleep, while her heart slowly broke beside him. And the worst part? He never admitted anything. Not once. Instead, he became softer with her sometimes. Kinder. Almost like guilt was making him love her more carefully, while emotionally drifting further away at the same time. That confusion nearly destroyed her. Because anger would have been easier. Distance would have been easier. But this felt like slowly losing someone who was still lying beside her every night. One evening, he spent almost an entire hour laughing at his phone beside her on the couch. And for the first time, she realized she felt lonely beside the person who once promised her forever. That thought haunted her. Because loneliness hits differently when you're lying beside someone you love and realizing they stopped emotionally choosing you a long time ago. But even then, she still stayed quiet, still hoping, still trying to convince herself that intuition wasn't truth. Because confusion allowed her to hope. Truth would have destroyed everything immediately. So instead, she slowly abandoned herself, trying to keep the relationship alive, until the truth finally arrived on its own. Not through him, through another woman. The message appeared while he was asleep beside her. She still remembered how cold her hands felt opening it. Her body already knew what she was about to read, before her eyes even reached the words. The woman wasn't asking if he had a girlfriend. She already knew about her. And in that moment, everything inside her went quiet. Suddenly, every ignored feeling came rushing back all at once. The hidden phone, the emotional distance, the late-night texting, the fake normal conversations, the instinct she kept betraying every single day just to avoid facing reality. And that's when she realized something that hurt even more than the cheating itself. She didn't lose herself the day she discovered the truth. She lost herself the night she chose not to see it. That was the real damage, not the cheating. The way she slowly abandoned her own instincts, trying to keep someone who had already started leaving her emotionally. And honestly, that's the part that still stayed with her. Not the arguments, not the breakup, not even him. What haunted her most was still that glowing phone beside her on the bed, and the version of herself that was too afraid to reach for the truth. Because sometimes the worst betrayal isn't being lied to by someone you love. It's knowing something feels wrong and slowly convincing yourself not to see it until the damage becomes impossible to undo.